let us continue with the topic. Now we will deal with hydroelectric energy. Now what is the basic definition of hydroelectric energy? Now hydro energy, the gravitation descent of a water is compressed from long run to a single location with a dam or a flume. Right now this creates a location where concentrated pressure and flow can be used to turn turbines or water wheels which drive a mechanical mill or an electric generator. Now this is the crux of hydroelectric energy. Now see here, I'll write down the crux point here. Now the gravitation descent of water means the movement of water due to gravitation. Right now this is the exact thing, gravitation descent of water. Now as the river flows from a long run, right, now see here, now this river flow will be compressed at a single location by building a dam. Now due to this, concentrated pressure will be formed there, and now this concentrated pressurized flow of water can be used through turbines to generate electricity, and they are passed through turbines to generate electricity. This is the concept in hydroelectric energy. Right now this hydroelectric energy is one of the cheapest form of energy, and see here, and in this hydroelectric energy only, as we discussed in the previous video, what form of energy is renewable source? Your small hydropower electric generation is under renewable sources. Now these hydroelectric power plants are classified into many types, right? The first one is large hydropower. Now what does this large hydropower says? Right now see here, all these definitions are according to Department of Energy given by Government of India. Right now see here, large hydropower plants comes under which has a capacity of more than 30 megawatts. I'm writing as MW, right, megawatts. Now they comes under large hydropower, and the next classification is small hydropower. Now see here, which generates, the power plants which have a capacity of generating less than or equal to 10 megawatts comes under small hydropowers. Right? Now this is very important. These type of questions are being frequently asked. Right now there is one more classification, micro hydropower. Now this hydropower plants which has a capacity of up to 100 kilowatts. Now these are micro power plants. Now observe here, these type of power plants are used for running a farm, a village, right? Now again, in this small hydropower plants, again there are some more categories, right? Let us discuss that. Pico hydropower. Now I'll write as HP. Now what is the capacity of pico hydropower plants? Now it is up to 20 kilowatt. Now where this pico hydropower plants are used? Now these are used for your agricultural motors, right, domestic dwellings. Now these, for these purposes, this pico hydropower category, I mean power plants are used. The next one is micro. Already we have discussed this, so I'll write in detail regarding this. Next one is micro, now which will be at a range of 20 kilowatt to 100 kilowatt, right. Now as I said earlier, where this micro hydro powers are used in order to power generate your farms, small locality, villages, right. Now for a home, these type of micro hydro powers are used. The next one is mini hydro power plants. Mini hydro power plants, now these are up to capacity of 100 kilowatts to 1 megawatt, right. And the next one is small. Now see, there is a subcategory between these two, that's why I'm discussing this, right. Small hydro power plants comes under the category of 1 megawatt to 10 megawatts. Now this is the sub classification. Now see here, once this question was asked in a service commission examination prelims, right, pico hydro power projects comes under the category of which, I mean which length of this power generation, which is less than or equal to 20 kilowatts. Done. Now what are the advantages of this hydro power? As we discussed, these are the cheapest form of energy available. Now this is the major advantage of hydropower, right. And also water is a renewable source, right. Now what are the disadvantages of this? Now see here, the major disadvantage is for this production of hydroelectricity we need to construct the dams. Now due to construction of these dams, your ecosystems and biodiversity will be affected a lot. Now this is the major disadvantage. Now already in biodiversity we have discussed a famous andolan called what? Narmada Bachao. Now this is nothing but this is a movement which is against the construction of dam on the Narmada river, where the complete ecosystem will be destroyed, right. I think in the previous video we have discussed in detail, right, which was led by Medha Patkar, right, and Baba Amte, and it is also supported by Amir Khan. Done. Now see here, when these dams are constructed, what is the loss to biodiversity? Now due to this, floods will be increased. I mean the normal passage of water will be obstructed by this dam and flowed to the other ways. Due to this, floods will be increased and this will submerge the forest. Now this is the main effect on biodiversity. And see here, when these plants are submerged, what is the secondary impact on this? The secondary impact, all these plants will die and form a dead organic matter, and these are decomposed, and due to decomposition your methane is released, which is a greenhouse gas. Now see here, due to biodiversity effect, your dead organic matter, due to decomposition, what happens? Your methane gas is released due to decomposition, now which is a greenhouse gas. Now this is the major disadvantage. Now see the impact, secondary impacts. Focus on this, right? These type of questions will be there in your examination, right? Now, which is the highest hydroelectric power generation plant in the world? Which is nothing but China, right? Famous one we are seeing in the, what is the name of this? Three Gorges in China. Now in India, which is the largest power generation plant? Tehri Dam. Now Tehri Dam is in Uttarakhand, right? Now this is the largest hydroelectric power generation plant, right? Now Let us go into the next renewable source of energy, which is geothermal energy. Now, what is this geothermal energy? Now, I'll explain the exact definition. Now, geothermal energy is a heat energy generated, stored in the earth. Now, thermal energy is the energy that determines the temperature of the matter. Right? Now, see here, I'll write down the things. Geothermal energy is the heat energy generated, and stored in earth. This is the crux point there. Right? Now, this geothermal energy shows you the temperature of the matter in the earth. Now, how this geothermal energy is originated? Now, this geothermal energy is originated from the earth's crust. Already we have discussed in detail regarding this earth's crust. Now, see here how this geothermal energy is formed. Already you have said that it originates in the earth crust. How it originates in the earth crust? Now, see here, in the earth crust it forms, in the earth crust this geothermal energy is formed due to radioactive decay of the materials. Now, this is the prime thing, radioactive decay of the materials. Now, this is one cause, right? This is the major thing. Now, in India, where can you find this geothermal energy sites? Now, your northwestern Himalayas and your western coast are famous for geothermal sites, hot springs, right? Northwestern Himalayas. I'll write down the full thing. Northwestern Himalayas. Now, this geothermal energy sites, where can you observe? As we said, it was in northwestern Himalayas. Now, see here, under Ministry of New and Renewable Source of Energy, there are some geothermal sites pointed out in India. Right? Now, Tuwa, which is in Gujarat, is first famous one. Right? And also your Godavari basin is one of the geothermal sites. Right? Now, Puga Valley in Jammu and Kashmir, I'll give you 4 examples, right? Puga Valley in Jammu and Kashmir. Now, Tatapani in Chhattisgarh, a famous one, right? Geothermal site. Tatapani in Chhattisgarh. Now, these are the sites located by Indian government, and there are some more, which is Jalagaon in Maharashtra, Bhakreshwar in West Bengal, Unai in Gujarat, and Manikaran in Himachal Pradesh, apart from this 4. Right? Now, what are the advantages of this geothermal energy? Now, this geothermal energy is base load power. Right? Base load. Now, this geothermal energy is called base load power. Right? Now, this base load power is economically very feasible, and also the deployment cost is very low. Right? Now, what are the disadvantages of this geothermal energy? Now, when you extract this geothermal energy, sulfur is also extracted out. Now, this sulfur has to be removed. Now, this is an hectic task, right? By extracting this heat, sulfur is also extracted. comes out, and this removal of sulfur is a costing process, right? Now this is the disadvantage of this, right? Done. Now all these energies comes under the category of renewable sources of energy, and we call it as green energy, right? Green energies. Now apart from this geothermal, hydro, solar, wind power, now see here, your biomass and biofuel comes under the green energies. Now we will discuss this, right? Already we have discussed this. Now in green energy, which is inexhaustible and which will not affect your environment in any way, right? Apart from this, there are two types: biofuels and biomass. Now see here, a question was asked on this biomass energy in this present IES examination, right? Focus on this. Now what is this biofuels? Now this biofuels are nothing but fuels which are produced by a biological process. Now this biological process will be done in anaerobic ways, right? Now this is the thing you have to know: anaerobic process, without air. Now can you point out some biofuels, right? Now see here, this biofuels are divided into two types, right? Let us see the classification of this, right? Now this biofuels are classified into two types. One is primary and the next one is secondary. Now what comes under primary and what comes under secondary? Under primary category, see here, your firewood, wood chips, right? Now forest residues, all these comes under primary things, right? Wood chips. Now these are used to generate heat, right? Now these are primary sources of biofuel. Now what are the secondary sources? And again in the secondary sources there are three types. Now the first generation biofuels are, and the second generation biofuels are, now you have to discuss about this, and the third generation biofuels are, right? Now the first generation will be bioethanol. Bioethanol. I'll write down the things only. There is no need of process, right? Bioethanol. And the second generation biofuels are bioethanol and also biobutanol. Biobutanol. Now what are the third generation, right? Now see here, that is what you discuss here. Biodiesel is a third generation biofuel, right, which is produced from the plants called Jatropha, right? Now this is the main thing what government is focusing now, right? Now see here, government have made it mandatory to blend 10% of ethanol in gasoline, right, in order to curb the pollution, right? 10% of ethanol. Right, with gasoline. Now this government have made it mandatory in order to curb the pollution, right? Now these are the types of biofuels. Now let us discuss about this biomass now. What is this biomass? Now see here, this is separate what you have discussed in ecology, right, which is the dry living matter present in the living organisms, right? Now the biomass generation plants, we have discussed in non-commercial energies, right? Your cow dung is a biomass, right, where you can produce gobar gas, right. Now see here, biomass is a renewable energy source derived from carbonaceous waste of various human and natural activities, obtained from carbonaceous waste from various human and natural activities. This is called biomass. Now, in detail, what you speak according to biology is, now it is an organic dead organic material, dead, or see here, you can call it as biological organic matter, right. Now which can be obtained from your agricultural waste, that is what you discuss, your cow dung, right, and felling of trees. After decomposition they becomes biomass, right. Now see here, all your husk, straw, soya husk, coffee waste, jute waste, all the things are used for biomass electricity generation. Now Ministry of New and Renewable Sources, MNRE, launched a program called Biomass Power and Cogeneration Program in order to encourage the production of electricity through biomass, right, by giving incentives and fundings, right. What is a program called? Biomass Power. I'll write down the program name, right, and cogeneration program. Right, now this is the program launched by Government of India, right. Now what are the technologies that are available to convert this biomass into electricity? Now the process is called thermochemical process. I'll write down this thermochemical process. Now what happens in this thermochemical process, right. Now this thermochemical process, this biomass is converted into electricity by combustion, gasification, and one more process called pyrolysis. Pyrolysis means pyro, nothing but temperature generation, heat generation, right. Now combustion and gasification you know very well, right. Now, and also one more method called by using boilers. Right, now there are 4 types of boiler heating systems that use biomass to heat and to generate power, and they are automated, semi-automated, pellet fired, and combined heat and power, right. I'll write here automated, and the next one is semi-automated, and the third one is pellet fired, and the next one is, already we have discussed this, combined heat and power, CHP program, right. Done. Now these are the cheaper options. Boilers are the cheaper options for the production of biomass. Now there is a common note, what we say is half a kilo of dry plant tissue means your biomass, half a kilo of biomass can produce 1890 kilocalories of energy and heat, right, which can be used for electricity generation. 1890 kilocalories of heat. So just for the sake of knowledge, right. Done. Now what are the advantages of this biomass? Now see here, due to this biomass electricity generation, all your dead organic matter can be completely burnt out, now which is nothing but your cleaning of your waste. And see here, infrastructure for this biomass power generation plants will be very less. Now one more advantage. Now what are the disadvantages, right? Now see here, some of this biomass, I mean biodiesels, will produce the same pollution than, I mean likewise your fossil fuels, it seems. So that's why some biomass power plants are being, I mean, negated, they are not used, right? Now already we have discussed about biodiesel. Now see here, there is one more type of renewables energy that are called green diesel. Now see here how your biodiesel is produced, your third generation green energy. Now jet power plants, right? J or jet, you can use both. Jet power plants first in India and Chhattisgarh government have started their public transport system by using biodiesel, which is produced from jet power plants, which is an alternative economic, right, monetary generation vehicle also in that state, right? Now what is green diesel? Now this green diesel is produced by hydrocracking biological oils feed, right? Hydrocracking the oils, right, such as your fats and vegetable oils. Now see here, this green diesel has equivalent properties as your petroleum based diesel, so that's why green diesel is being used as alternative, right? Now this green diesel is being developed in Singapore and Louisiana and Singapore. Done. Now there is one more type apart from green diesel, which is called syngas. So these are very important things, right? Focus on this. Now what is syngas? Now syngas is a mixture of carbon monoxide plus hydrogen plus some hydrocarbons. Now this is a mixture of carbon monoxide, hydrogen and hydrocarbons. Now this is produced by combustion of biomass, right? Biomass. These are secondary products regarding biomass, right? Now see here, this syngas is more efficient than biofuels, I mean this biodiesel. Now this syngas can be used to produce methanol, hydrogen, and also which can act as diesel substitute, right? Now the next one what we have to discuss is fuel cells. Now what are these fuel cells? Now these fuel cells are electrochemical devices that convert chemical energy of a fuel directly and efficiently into DC, right, thus doing away with combustion. Now these fuel cells are, what are the crux point, right? Electrochemical devices. Now which convert your chemical energy directly into DC, directly into direct current, right, without combustion. Now this is the importance of fuel cells, that's why you have to learn about this, right? Now this fuel cells consist of an electrolyte sandwiched between electrodes. Electrolyte sandwiched between electrodes. in your plus 1 plus 2 you have learned this in detail regarding this, right? Sandwich between these electrons. Now in India, this fuel cell production has been encouraged by MNRE, Ministry of New and Renewable Sources, right, by launching a program called Chemical Sources of Energy Program, right? Chemical Sources of Energy Program. I'll write down this point. In order to encourage and promote the production of fuel cells, right? In order to produce alternate power generation, fuel generation, right? Now these fuel cells can supply electricity to buildings, large infrastructure projects also. Now see here, what are the potential applications of these fuel cells, right? Now this fuel cells can be used for residential applications that we have discussed here, large buildings, electrification of your villages, and they can be used in CHP or combined heat process mode, right? Not CHP means, already we have discussed chemical process for conversion, right? CHP process. In the previous slide we have discussed this. Right? CHP process, thermochemical process or CHP process, right? See here, in boilers we have used the terminology called CHP process, right? Combined heat and power. CHP means combined heat and power, right? See here, in India already we have said that a program was launched by MNRE, which is called Chemical Sources of Energy Program. Now this is nothing but the development of fuel cells which produce electricity and heat through reaction between hydrogen and oxygen, right? Hydrogen and oxygen. This is the main initiative of this program. Electricity. Next one is water, and the next one is heat generation. These are the three things that has to be produced through this Chemical Sources of Energy Program, right? Now let us discuss the next topic called non-renewable energy sources in the next video. Thank you.